So unfortunately, my week of fail has continued. It is Monday, October the 13th, and I seem to have another problem with my car, which is actually quite terrible because it just means more money I'm going to have to dump into that piece of crap. But while picking up from the repair place today, I saw a very interesting sign which, in my opinion, is just something that, or at least you could probably see it in other states that aren't in Texas, but it's a very Texas-esque kind of sign. But it's basically the sign that says, we are not responsible for any items left in the vehicle, and then it has a list of the items that you should remove from your car before dropping it off so that you don't lose your items. And the number one item on the list is guns, which is fantastic, in my opinion. Guns, cameras, cash, and then iPods, just like guns, iPods, whatever you kind of leave in your car. It's just so great. It's just so classic. Make sure you get your guns, folks, before you drop your cars off. But aside from that little piece of, entertainment, the prospect of having to replace my alternator is not a fun one. So I'm adding it to the list of failures of the week, even though the new week has started. But really what I started thinking about was Skype, actually, and the use of Skype, and how it's actually kind of dangerous. This idea of camera phones that we are all supposed to be like, oh, it's the future, it's camera phones, but you think it's such a great idea, like, oh, I could call people and, see my friends, and we could have this great conversation. And then you come to the realization that, when I talk on the phone to people, I don't necessarily pay attention, like, all the time. I mean, I pay attention, but I kind of do things, like doodle or watch TV. I don't necessarily super focus on the phone call because I'm just, having to listen. And what I do with my time or my body, or, well, actually that sounds kind of nasty, I don't mean it in any kind of disgusting way, but I mean in terms of how I physically entertain myself while I'm on the phone. So whether that's doodling or, again, watching TV or wandering around the house or picking up or, whatever I happen to be doing to kind of give myself something to do while I'm talking to somebody. A thing that I find that I do when I'm on the phone with someone is that I could sometimes laugh and giggle and make kind of smirky faces when people are telling me something that I actually find to be kind of comical and they're meaning it in all seriousness. And, when you're on the phone, that's not a big deal because it's like you're talking on the phone, somebody says something that you find quite silly and they're being very serious about it. You just kind of pull the phone down and be like, yeah, that sounds great. That's awesome. Yeah. But you can't do that on Skype. They're looking at you. You realize that the face that you're about to make is going to be very inappropriate to the comment that they've just made to you. So when I'm in that scenario, I'm always having to constantly try to find something to do so that I don't laugh. And that can be pretty hard, considering some of the conversations I've had on Skype with people. So, yeah, it then turns into me, covering my mouth in some way, like, sounds great. Yeah. Or the biting the lip. Yeah. That's fascinating. Whatever it is that you have to do. And I always thought it was like this great idea, like, oh yeah, I could call people, we could see each other, it's gonna be so cool. And then I realized I'm just a very terrible phone talker. I'm bad at it, and the fact that now people watch me while I'm talking on the phone to them, I think it can get me in trouble. Luckily, I've done a pretty good job of hiding my TV watching and my, smirky, smiles and stuff like that. So, anyway, Skype sounds like a great idea. For some people, it's dangerous. That's all I'm saying.